Hello and welcome to SquishiVision, where I just finished watching Loki Season 2 finale, Episode 6, Glorious Purpose, which shares its name in a very much an Ouroboros kind of way with Loki Season 1, Episode 1, which kind of confirms that this is the all we're going to get of Loki, because it doesn't really make much sense otherwise. Like, the joke doesn't work if there's more, but I mean, Loki's all about breaking conventions. God, Season 1 was back in like 2020, right? It's been a journey. It's weird. I'm more emotionally connected to what was going through my life back then than I am through the show. So I'm kind of projecting here, but yeah. That did not end where I thought it was going to end. That was a genuine big surprise. And that was such a weirdly constructed episode. I don't know if it's, like I say, it just kind of like, yeah, no, I was like really well constructed. I guess it was kind of a beginning, middle, end. So there was always like so many different directions it could have gone. So essentially, Loki can't save the Loom. It was always doomed, and this is kind of always implied in Season 1 that it was never gonna, there was never gonna be He Who Remains set the fact that there was always ever gonna be two solutions. Either they controlled timelines, or it all went to crap. And if the Loom was always there to like shred anything which deviated too far from the sacred timeline. And if they got rid of it, did have a multiversal war. But that's the only reason why we haven't had it yet. It's because the Loom was still existing, but it was always gonna, I assume, always gonna break. I don't know. That bit was a bit fuzzy on. It wasn't that clear. I think that was the implication, or at least it would like nuke out a bunch of the timelines to try and stop them from coming. But then I don't know why He Who Remains was like, you're gonna get these variants coming, or whatever. I guess they've started to bleed through anyway, so we know it's kind of building up to that. So that's the kind of state of things as it stands. And Loki basically takes another solution out, which is essentially that essentially he does what the options that He Remains set out. He takes over, just in a different way that was expected. Instead of him sitting on, it's thematically like exactly where the character was. It makes sense because like Loki's always been about a throne. He's always about seizing a throne for power, versus him seizing a throne to take on the burden that he's the one else to take on. And he finally has his throne, which is doomed to sit on for all eternity on his own. Quite a tragic end to character. It's fairly well, I think, executed in that respect. I don't know. It was quite. It lost me a couple of times. The episodes. I think it maybe could have taken. This end of Season 1 with Jonathan Majors' He Who Remains does a really good job of explaining what we were dealing with in a way which was kind of like wham and like expansive, but still like explained in a very kind of easy to digest way. I don't think it was that much to digest here. It was really funny to have like him back as He Who Remains, just being like, yeah, this was always part of the plan as well, which was always going to be how it turned up. That I wasn't expecting. That was a nice little plot twist that he goes back to that point and then he is still like aware of what's going on. That was kind of funny. And then like Loki just basically went back through his recent timeline, talking to Mobius, talking to Sylvia to kind of get the idea of what he should do, and essentially become like the head of all, like become the new kind of control of the. And I like that they didn't go with what I was afraid we'll go with, which was basically reversing end of season 1, killing He Remains, and like stabilizing the timeline. It's basically the good ending. Because if it didn't that, it would explain. It wouldn't have like basically like ruined the whole multiversal stuff we're still going through. And I like the multiversal stuff. I like the idea that every single film is canon now, because it's always canon to like in the multiverse. I'm struggling here because I'm very tired, and in about 4 hours time I've got to be on a bus to London, so this is probably a big mistake, but whatever. And I'm rushing because I can't have good things anymore in my life. I do like the opening sequence, which I've replicated here, of reversing the opening credits. That was kind of funny. And the opening was really funny as well, kind of like whole having, I don't know why he just didn't like go as far back as possible to start with, but I guess he was trying to like erase the least amount of like their lives. But when it became like, then it was like revealed that he had to basically learn everything about temporal mechanics, and to do so he had to live for like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, which he presumably did. And Tom Hiddleston does a really good job of like that whole like really just like, I have been awake for so long. Which I feel it's a big mood. And then after it doesn't work, just the whole exhaustion around that, like, so relatable. Love the whole like replication of season 1. That took me back. The visuals of the end. I mean, I don't know what to say about this episode. Like it was so not what I expected that I don't know how much of like a solid opinion I'm really decently forming here of everything. Like at the end, I was like, I mean, even by the middle, I was just like, I have not chroma keyed my hand properly. I was just like enraptured by what was going on, and like trying to like catch up and work it out. I do think my criticism is it could have maybe been explained. I'm fairly good at understanding complicated plot points, especially around time travel. This was a bit ill-explained kind of thing. And I don't really know how the new tree multiverse is meant to be different, other than there's someone actively like controlling it from inside. But the visuals of the ending, him having his like TVA costume like ripped off, and then like having to becoming the Loki, like his like costume Loki persona was just like so cool. The score was good, it looked fantastic. The right amount of like wham nature, and then like Tom Hiddleston does a really good job of like selling the whole tragedy of it. Staring at like, it was a bit, I think it's kind of delivers on the whole like, oh, we're going to undo his tragic death at Endgame, because this is in a sense an even worse fate. Like, alone, no prospects, he's just there doomed to observe and maintain everyone else's free will and have it on his own. Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty tragic way to go. So can't really like, it kind of does like suitably, I think, deliver on undoing his death in the first place, and the whole like making a throne and a cape out of the timelines. Mobius being able to like finally realize what he's like let go by looking at his real life. I mean, in some sense, Loki's more powerful than the 1990. Oh yeah, again they call it 616. I thought when they were saying 616 adjacent, I was like, Baggy be like, fine, I won't like pretend. Alexa, volume 0. Alexa, volume 0. I thought that was like Baggy being like, fine, I won't recall this to 616. This is the 616 adjacent, but then I've read a review and it's actually calling it 616 adjacent is referring to the quantum realm, which was an adjacent realm to 616. But this isn't 616. Come on, like the only people who are going to be turned on by the phrase 616 are the people who want the 616 to refer to the comics. If you call it 19999, we're all going to be like, yay. Yeah? You know? Just... Why, Faggy? Why? Oh... I was expecting a post-credit about a Council of Kangs. Interesting we didn't do that. Whether that's deliberate or it's a good ongoing situation. I mean, Jonathan Majors is still in this considerably. In a way which I think is always the original intent. People were speculating when he died last week. That was like, or the week before. That was them trying to like get rid of the characters if they were going to course correct that way. But nah. So we'll see how that goes. What else? The fact that we did rebuilt the TVA. I mean, everyone has the development that they need, I think. Or at least Loki's doing, the Loki does. Our Loki. Or well, not our Loki, either our Loki. Yeah. Yeah, but we'll just see what people think. I don't know. I feel like the first season had the benefit of being the first, like, Disney Plus MCU show. And it was, like, consistent in quality. Or at least, actually, to be fair, it wasn't. There was that weird episode where they're like, we're just trying to not be destroyed on the planet. That was kind of a throwaway episode. And I was always like, well, this episode kind of feels kind of throwaway. But then the finale really hit, so everyone had like really high hopes. And now we've got 3 years later with this. And I think this is like, if it came out after, it'd maybe be received a bit better. I think we've gone through all the like time since. And this season was more kind of like, it felt different in that case. That was the thing. I don't know how to describe it. I mean, I'm just more lonely. Maybe it's me who's the problem. But I guess, you know, thematically, having a Loki who was all about taking away people's free will to a Loki who has absolutely like become the embodiment of free will is a nice kind of arc. So I guess I'll leave it there because I've got to get ready for my trip tomorrow, and I've got to probably I've got to edit this because obviously I didn't do this bit live for the beginning bit. And then I've got to, I've got to react to Echo, which I might as well do now while I've got this stuff going on, and get ready for tomorrow. I've learned today. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Good.